Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's Dustin Crace, and today we are going to do the pickups video for the last few months. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what exact months this covers, but I think it's November through January. I'll double check it and it'll be up in the title. But anyway, I did not pick up a lot of stuff for these last 3 months. In fact, hardly any games, and one of the games I got was gifted to me, and it's really just been like movies and music. So on the game front, there's going to be not a lot here, but if you like the other things that I talk about, then those will be here for you to see. Anyway, to start off the game stuff, I'm going to talk about this before I forget it. I did pick up Brandish it's on PSN, released by Xseed. I haven't started it yet. RPG Swagman's been playing it. He's really been enjoying it. So I'm actually looking forward to starting it sometime here soon. But it's 20 bucks on there, and it's the latest Xseed release. And Xseed is a company that I really like. But here recently they're getting kind of on my nerves because second chapter, it's been promised for like 2 years and we still don't have it yet, and I'm getting kind of tired of the Senran Kagura Burst type games that they're releasing. But anyway, Brandish looks to be a title that I hope to enjoy. The control scheme's a bit weird, but it's kind of that, I don't know, classic RPG feel, so I'm really hoping to get into that. Other than that, the games I picked up, I did pick up a Platinum Collection copy of Dodonpachi Saidaioju, and really enjoyed my time with this. These types of games are one of those ones, you sit down and you play it, and these 360 titles, you have infinite continues, so if you want to see the end of the game, you have no problem doing it. But then you kind of sit down and start challenging yourself to try to get through the game and get better at the game. And what can you say? It's a cave bullet hell shooter. Really a fantastic time. It's a fun thing to break out and show your friends and be like, oh yeah, you think that's crazy? Look at this. And then the screen is just covered in bullets. And it's really kind of a wild thing. But these games are ridiculously expensive to import for some reason, and then whenever they release a Platinum Collection version of them, they're usually within the price range I want to pay. So I'm okay with having the Platinum Collections for these Japanese shmups, because it's much more cost effective to just wait for those. But it's sad because I do think that this is the last cave shmup to be put on consoles. I could be wrong in that. But I think they've stated that they are no longer going to be doing console ports of their games. So, you know, I don't even know if they're going to be making any more games, to be honest with you. I'm not always up on Cave and what they're doing, but I do enjoy their games. I picked up a single amiibo, and that is the Zelda amiibo. I have a bunch of them pre-ordered, and I need to go in and pre-order the Wave 4 Fire Emblem ones. I can't remember, there's something else on Wave 4 that I want too. But these things are getting ridiculous. Johnny Millennium just did a video about like these people that go out and buy like 12 of these and then turn them all over on the internet at a much more ridiculous price. And you know, you're free to do that if you want, but you're really just ruining it for the people that actually care about these things. You know, everyone complains on YouTube about resellers and stuff like that, and I think it's kind of a shitty practice too, because, you know, I just want a single Marth. I just want a single Lucina. I just want a single Shulk, although the way I have it work now, I have 2 Shulks coming to me so I can keep one box, because I love Xenoblade. But I don't, you know, these people that go in and buy like all of them and then turn them over, it really pisses me off, because I don't want to pay 40 bucks for one of these fucking figures. I want to go in and buy one for $13 and have it in my collection. And it's kind of shitty that people are doing this, but again, it's the freedom to do that, so whatever. But it does kind of leave a dirty taste in your mouth when you talk about amiibos, because it's ridiculous out there trying to get the ones that you want. And but anyway, that's neither here nor there. The last game thing, I've already shown this off in another video, but Aerodynamics sent me a Secret Santa gift, even though he didn't have me for Secret Santa. He kind of did this for everybody. And he sent me the precursor to Dragon Quest Swords, which is a Dragon Quest plug-and-play game. I want to say it's Kenoshin or something like that is the sort of the subtitle. But it has a lot of different, I don't know how well that'll pick up on the back, but it has a lot of different mini-games. And it's kind of like a first-person RPG where you use this sword and a transmitter or a remote thing on the TV to sort of sense it. I don't know how well it's going to play. Sometime this year I do plan on doing, plugging it in, trying to play it, and do a game discussion on it. But it's a great piece to have for my Dragon Quest collection, and it really makes me want to go back and replay Dragon Quest Swords sometimes, because I never did finish that one up. And that is it for the games. Really, just not a lot came out, and I'm not really looking to buy a bunch of backlog type stuff. So that's really it. You know, it's weird to go 3 months and only buy really 3 games, but you know, my collecting bug has kind of died out, I guess, a little bit. Next, I'm going to talk about some books I picked up. Not going to talk about them too much. I picked up a copy of Lunch Poems by Frank O'Hara. I've already talked about him in another pickups video. Really enjoy his poetry. So I picked up that for pretty cheap. And then I picked this up and just finished it not 5 minutes ago. But that is Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. I was just at Half Price Books. It was there for $2, and I was like, you know, it's high time I read this. And I'm really glad I did, because this is a fantastic book. And it's so weird how like modern authors feel like they have to pump out like 400 and 500 page books to tell an epic story that is deep and meaningful. And Vonnegut did it in in this edition it's 214 pages, and it's a quick read too. I really like authors who know the power of brevity, and you know, I really want to get into more of Vonnegut's work. So got that. On that note, because I enjoyed the book so much, I also picked up the movie of Slaughterhouse-Five. And this is from the 70s. And I really like 70s science fiction. There's just something, I don't know. Slaughterhouse-Five is considered a science fiction book, kind of. But there's something about like 70s movies that I really enjoy. And I'm really looking forward to watching this and seeing how it is similar and different from the book at the same time. As you can see, the shrink wrap's still on it because I haven't opened it yet, because I wanted to finish the book before I watched the movie. Picked this up, and I didn't actually make it all the way through this movie. I kind of took it out because I wasn't really feeling it at the time, and it is kind of a letdown if you're a big fan of the series, and that is Battlestar Galactica: Blood and Chrome. I love BSG. One of the best TV shows ever made, and I really want something in that universe to come back. You know, Caprica was pretty good. This was supposed to be like a pilot for a new series that didn't take off. They just decided to, you know, just show it as a movie on the Sci-Fi Channel. But I really miss Battlestar Galactica, and I keep giving these like post-TV show movies a chance. You know, I gave Caprica a chance. I have The Plan. What's the other one? Is there another movie? I can't remember. I gave The Plan a chance, and The Plan didn't really live up to what I wanted from it. And then this didn't really either. You can tell that it's weird, because on one hand, it's very CG-oriented and looks very nice, but at the same time, you can tell like the sets, how CG-oriented they are. It's like people standing on green screens and things like that. And it's just, it doesn't have the same visceral feel that the television show did. And, you know, there was that mini-series that focused on William Adama during the first Cylon War. Miles better than this. I don't know why they couldn't get that same actor back. This has the guy who's in the Musketeers now, who plays D'Artagnan in the Musketeers, and he just does not he's not William Adama. I don't know. I need to watch it again and give it a fair shake, but for the most part, if you're a Battlestar Galactica fan, I think this is kind of a disappointment. What is not a disappointment, and was kind of, an extremely good movie that maybe is overhyped just a little bit, is Snowpiercer. This is fantastic. The reviews make it sound like this is going to be a life-changing film, and it's not. It's just a really well-done story that has a really awesome concept and a really kind of awesome little message behind it. But it's, I don't know, there's just something about it that I just can't shake, and I really like the world that it presents, and the acting is fantastic, the cast is fantastic. I don't know why this wasn't a bigger movie, because when you see like what is out there in theaters, and then I don't even think this got a theatrical release. I could be wrong on that. If it did get a theatrical release, it was very limited. But this is the kind of stuff that should be in theaters and should be like topping the box office, because it's got really weighty themes, and it's just a fantastic movie. So if you haven't seen Snowpiercer, it's on Netflix, at least here in the States. And if you're outside the States and it's not on Netflix, then definitely go rent it or find a way to watch it, because it is a good movie. Picked this up and haven't even opened it yet because I just haven't had time to get into it, but I did finally get volume 30 of the Mystery Science Theater 3000 box sets. And so I still have all of them, but the one that's like $150, and I don't know if I'll ever, buy that. But this one has Black Scorpion, Outlaw of Gore, The Projected Man, and It Lives by Night, which are 4 episodes that I haven't seen any of them. So this is going to be a real treat for me to go through and see these episodes that I haven't seen. And what came with it, they kind of keep sending me these coasters. And these are just cardboard coasters. But the thing is, I want to use them, but I don't want to ruin them. So if you guys out there have an idea for preserving these, I looked into like a coaster kits that you can put them between 2 pieces of glass and hold them together. The problem is those coaster kits are like 4 inches, and these are 5-inch coasters. I thought about Mod Podge, but I don't know how well that would work to seal them up. But if you guys have any ideas on how to preserve cardboard coasters so you can use them, or at least display them and they won't like get destroyed, let me know, because I really want to do something with these, because there's 5 in here, then I have 5 other ones, and they have just beautiful artwork on them, from the cases, and I'd like to do something with them, but I don't know what yet. So and then finally, in the movie front, I did pick up Kevin Smith's new movie Tusk, and if you're a fan of like what he did with Red State, you're going to enjoy this. This is it's pretty fucked up in a silly way type of movie, but there's something about it I really like, and I really like the fact that Kevin Smith is doing new and different things and not just giving up on movies. He might not ever get back to the popularity of the Jay and Silent Bob movies, but the fact that he's still doing these weird, quirky little movies. And the best thing about this movie is Johnny Depp's character in it. He plays an uncredited character that's going to be in 2 more movies that kind of form a trilogy, with this movie. And they all have, the common theme is they all have that character in it. And Johnny Depp is just fantastic in this. I loved that character. He made me laugh so hard. But at times this is really disturbing, and then like the next second it's really funny. So it's definitely a movie to check out if you're like into weird things. But I really personally enjoyed it. I know the jury's kind of out on it. Some people love it. It's either a love or hate thing, and I actually really enjoyed my time with Tusk, and I kind of really want to watch it again. But if you're looking for something different, definitely check this one out. And then on the movie front, January 20th was like a big music release day. But before we get to the January 20th release, I forgot this came out like a lot sooner. Rake-A-Sop is a group that or Rake-Sop. I never know how to say their name properly, so if you're from the area where they're from, please correct my pronunciation, because I'm an American and I don't worry about these things. But they used to be a group that I listened to a lot. Melody AM was one of my favorite albums when it came out. And then after The Understanding, I just kind of dropped out and stopped listening to them. So I missed Junior and Senior. But then I saw this in the record store, and the title is The Inevitable End. And I was like, uh-oh. And then I looked it up, and I was like, yeah, this is the last... I mean, they're still going to do music, but they're not going to do, like, full-length albums anymore, I guess. But I picked this up and listened to it, and it just took me right back to the Melody AM Understanding era when I was listening to them a lot, and really, really enjoy this album. It feels a bit darker definitely darker than like Melody AM. The Understanding had some dark feelings to it, but it was mostly a bit more upbeat. But this one is kind of a dark album for that genre of music, but definitely a good one if you like this group or just like electronic music and are looking for something new to listen to. Next up, there was 3 big releases on January 20th, and this was the one that I was actually looking forward to the most because this is one of my favorite groups of all time. And after listening to this album, I just want to go see them live again, but they're a lot more popular nowadays, so it might be a bit harder and more pricey to do that. But The Decemberist, What a Terrible World, What a Beautiful World. Fantastic. I was one of the few people that when The King is Dead came out, it didn't really grip me as much because I like my Decemberists crazy and Baroque and Victorian, and to have like sort of an alt country thing, I mean, it was all right, but it didn't grab me like it seemed to grab everybody else. What a Terrible World, What a Beautiful World is a really nice, I don't want to say throwback, but it's a really nice sort of call to arms, I guess. It feels a lot like the first album's Castaways and Cutouts, which I adore. A lot of really kind of, crazy songs on it, but at the same time, a lot of more traditional folky songs, I guess. Really, really, really great stuff. The entire album is just flawless in my view. And if you're a fan of the Decemberists, this is going to be one that you really enjoy. So I really want to go out and see them live again. And probably one of the biggest surprises of that release day is this one. And it's Marilyn Manson's new album, The Pale Emperor. And I'm keeping it in the sleeve it came in because it does have like a booklet. Because this is the white vinyl limited edition version. This is a real surprise because it kind of takes Manson in a direction that the band hasn't gone in a long time, which is much more bluesy feel. And, if you think back to like Smells Like Children and when they did I Put a Spell on You, they can really do that style really well. And as much as I liked Born Villain, and I loved the album Born Villain, I thought it was a shot of adrenaline that he hasn't had in years. In terms of his releases, this thing mops the floor with Born Villain. This is a fantastic album. Not just saying it as a Manson fan. Like, it's weird because I feel like, with this 90s, it feels like there's a big 90s throwback thing going on nowadays. And I feel like this is like the perfect album at the perfect time for him because maybe it'll revitalize his, sort of sagging career because you can only be, you can only be creepy for so long before, before the magic starts to wear off. And it's just a really good album. I'm really, really surprised at just how good it is. And I think it has more to do with the fact that he collaborated with Tyler Bates, who is he conducts, or not conducts, yeah, well, he does soundtracks and things like that, and Manson has always kind of had a very cinematic sound, and I think it complements him well, and just that bluesy feel, there's just something fresh about it, whereas now Born Villain just kind of feels like more of the same, and this feels like something really new. And speaking of a band doing something new, this is actually, when I first listened to it, it actually started off as kind of a disappointment for me, but then it's slowly starting to grow more and more on me. And it's more of a grower album than a shower album. The first time you put it on, you're going to be like, okay. And then, like, just after a few listens, it just really starts to stick in your head. And that is Belle and Sebastian's Girls in Peacetime Want to Dance. And a big fan of Belle and Sebastian. Sometimes they can get a little too precious, I guess. But this album kind of goes into more of a dancey, disco-y type thing. And if you listen to a lot of Belle and Sebastian, you know that's kind of a weird thing. But for some reason, it does work. Some of the song lengths on here, like Enter Sylvia Plath, is like a 7-minute long disco song. Sometimes I skip over that one because it's just, it gets to be a little too much. But for the most part, I really do like this album. However, it doesn't stack up for me against like Dear Catastrophe Waitress or The Life Pursuit. Those two albums are just great, as long as with the older stuff. But it is, I don't know, it's a bit more exciting than Belle and Sebastian write love songs, or write songs about love. But I don't know, it's still a really good album. If you like Belle and Sebastian, you will enjoy the album. So that is everything that I picked up here recently. Like I said, not a lot of games, a lot of music, a lot of movies. There are a lot of new releases coming out here soon, though. So I would say, like, the next time I do a pickups video, there's going to be a lot more gaming stuff in it. But that is it for this video. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.